And welcome into the Paul Farrington Show, a Tuesday edition of our show. Paul Farrington joined alongside Jack Weinberger, Robert Ziggy Ziegler, and Zach Bloomquist, the best executive producer in the game. So we were talking right before we started. Jack and Zach played in a men's league last night. We play, I'm on the team as well. We play with a bunch of our friends, Jack's little brother, who technically can't be in the league, but, you know, keep that secret. And Zach made his debut. You know, even though Zach didn't pay for the league, just saying.
So he's our emergency player. We needed him.
He's our emergency player. We needed him.
Short.
Zach is describing to me that you would think that he was like Shaquille O'Neal in the game on the way in. He was like, kid, the point guard drove in. He's like, I think I got in his head. Like, give me that shit block.
Look,
I'm not
going to say he didn't.
I don't know. It was a great win for us, but apparently Zach came in and dominated.
He played good minutes. Dominated is a stretch, but I
dominated. That Dwight Mark had stopped driving in once I was in there.
I'd say Zach gave valuable minutes for sure.
Yeah. So
we're not going to talk about the 3 air bowl that happened either.
We're not gonna, I didn't bring it up.
Rumor has it, people are saying it looked good. Yeah. People are saying
I thought it was good.
Yeah, I thought
it looked good from my angle. But
Ziggy, you enjoying this early conversation about the men's league basketball team?
Look,
we're 4-1.
You know, sometimes like I'm not in New Jersey, and this feels a little bit sad, right? I feel distant. But when you tell me the story of Zach and the men's league, I feel like I was right there watching it with you guys.
You can see that shot.
So I feel like it. And totally bricking. That just seems right.
It wasn't even a brick. I wish I bricked it.
Was like 6 feet short.
No, it wasn't short. It's wide right. It's like a misfield.
No. It was short. It looked short. It was short. It was real short.
I would love to see a slow motion video of that.
Well, it looked like a good shot.
Bloomquist. Oh.
I think you saw my brother flail his arms up the air from the corner.
So it's been a very busy day for us today. Did you hear Zach got another match?
Oh, there you go. Nice.
Yeah, Tinder.
Big news.
Tinder. Oh, God.
Yeah. And then we have a little special one. Special surprise.
What was your intro line this time, Zach? How do you lead?
Oh, I just said, what's up?
Oh,
yeah,
classic.
Right, yeah. I mean, what was I going to say? It's like...
Did you get blocked yet?
No. That doesn't happen.
What's up denied?
Yeah.
Well, on Tinder...
What's up? Nope.
I think I've probably been unmatched with on Tinder. They're saying, hey, or what's up? It just happens. That's what the app is.
Yeah, well, there you go. Zach's back in the game. Again, please remember, we're about to start right now. We'll start the show now. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Today, we have the Ravens. Is it finally the year for a playoff run? I don't know. You know, Jack's pretty high on the Ravens most years.
Me?
No, I'm just joking.
I think you number one Ravens fan, Jack Weinberger.
Buffalo Bills.
I respect them, what they think.
They made a big move today in Buffalo. We'll tell you about that later on. The draft today. Sports movies, all-time sports movies. And for fun, we're throwing in one more segment. The Broncos' new team motto came out. It's pretty bad. It is quite bad. So we are going to try to come up with a better motto for Russell Wilson, Sean Payton, and the Broncos this year. Stick around because that should be pretty entertaining. That'll be a reel in and of itself. But as I said, we begin with the Baltimore Ravens. Is this finally the year that they go on a playoff run? Lamar Jackson received 5-year, $260 million contract this offseason, makes him the richest player ever in the game. And when we think about the Ravens and we think about the time that they've had Lamar Jackson, generally it's pretty positive. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Over the course of these 5 seasons now, we have an MVP, unanimous MVP in there. Lamar's rushed for over 1,000 yards a few times. It's generally been very good. Baltimore's won 53 games in those 5 years. It's the most wins. Actually, we'll get there in a second. What do you think the Ravens, Jaguars, Browns, and Texans all have in common since 2018?
One playoff win?
One playoff win or less.
Okay.
The Ravens have won 53 games the past 5 years. It's the second most wins in a 5-year span with one or less playoff wins, with the Matt Ryan's Falcons from 2008 to 2012 being the most wins in that span. So they've been generally...
That's not the comparison you want.
No, it's a horrible comparison, but they've been generally very successful up until the postseason. A 1-4 playoff record for Lamar. Well, that's the Ravens record. Lamar's 1-3 in those games. And here's just some crazy stats before we get into what we expect for this season. In the playoffs, Lamar has the 1-3 record compared to 45-16 regular season. His passer rating, 68.3. In the regular season, it's 96.7. That 28.4 point differential is the 5th largest drop-off in NFL history from a quarterback's performance regular season to postseason. The touchdown to interception ratio, 4 touchdowns, 7 turnovers in the playoffs in his career. And then another big one, the Ravens offense. 13 points per game with Lamar at quarterback in the playoffs, compared to 28 in the regular season. It's the largest drop-off by any quarterback with multiple playoff starts since 2000. That 15 points right there. So
I just want to put it out there. Jack has like the biggest grin coming out right now.
You can see Jack. You can see Jack. Throughout this entire thing, I see Jack's face. He's like trying to hold back a little smile.
You know what I'm gonna say? They're going to go 7. They're not that good.
No, but I mean, you can't. The regular season, they dominate. They've been one of the best teams in the NFL in the regular season, and the postseason comes.
They're the 3rd best team in the division.
And a lot of it's Lamar's durability now too. He's had season-ending injuries the past 2 years. So
yeah, well,
I look at this Baltimore team, and we'll get into the conversation now. They added a lot of pieces this offseason. But they just, every year, they come in with these high expectations, and we think, could this be the year that they finally break down the door? And then in the playoffs, they disappoint. So, Ziggy, after all these offseason moves that they've made, are you confident in Baltimore heading into next year? People are viewing them again as one of the top contenders in the AFC.
I really do think they are. And for the following reason, like Lamar's weapons have been terrible. You get into the playoffs and it's a different kind of game, right? Teams have time to scheme for you. They're going to send their absolute best. They can commit to locking down their guy if they need to. Like, you look at who Lamar Jackson's starting wide receivers were in the last game he started for the Ravens. It was Deshaun Jackson, Devin Duvernay, and Demarcus Robinson.
That's tough.
Right? Not one of those guys is a wide receiver 3 on a decent team. You look at who they're going to be rolling out with week 1, barring an incredible injury in the offseason. And it's Rashad Bateman, Odell, and Zay Flowers.
That's your boy.
So you hope with those kinds of receivers, combined with like Mark Andrews and Todd Monken now, who actually knows how to run a passing game, unlike Greg Roman, there's a lot to believe that this team's going to be able to be a little bit better and not be as easily beaten in the postseason. So yeah, I do think if things go how I expect them to, this team will be a real threat because Lamar's good. Everyone knows that, except maybe Jack.
Would you agree with him, or it sounds like you're predicting 7-10?
I think Baltimore's a decent team with pretty good pieces. Who am I surprised if they go the divisional round? No, but I don't think that they're a top 4 or 5 team in the conference. I'm not going to say they're going to AFC Championship game.
I'm assuming that you'd have Kansas City, Buffalo, Cincinnati.
I'd have the Jets with Rodgers. Cincinnati.
Would you have the Steelers too?
Yeah, I think we're better than them.
Jacksonville. The Chargers, like, are those teams?
Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Yeah, those guys all to me are right around, similar with each other. But I don't see Baltimore as a top 5 team in the conference.
So barring another MVP level season from Lamar, you don't see them really making much noise.
No.
Yeah, I mean, if you think it's like the last few seasons, even an MVP year might not be enough, right? When Lamar plays really, really well, they still don't get it done in the postseason.
Well, there's a difference in make the playoffs versus a playoff run.
Yeah.
And through the AFC, I don't see Baltimore doing that. Well, I think they're a good team.
And based on what you were saying right there, Ziggy, a dominant MVP level Lamar season, that gets them the 1 seed. Like, we've seen it before. They had the 1 seed in 2019. It was just they choked in the playoffs. They had a goose egg against Tennessee. They didn't score 0, but they really played horribly. So I look at Baltimore and I think, okay, yeah, they finally do have weapons for them. That trio of receivers you just said, you can't blame them. If you trot those 3 guys out there with anyone except maybe Patrick Mahomes, it's going to be tough sledding for the quarterback. I'm excited for them this year. And we mentioned Monken, and I really do think that he's going to, apparently their pace of play is one thing they've been emphasizing at practice this year in Baltimore. Last year, I think they had the 4th slowest offense in the league. They had a bunch of delayed game penalties, or at least they were tied for 3rd or something like that in the league in delayed game penalties. So this year, an emphasis has been on, all right, let's speed things up. Let's go. Apparently Monken's running around like a wild man. They're getting people to do things. I think it can be very exciting, but I really think it's going to come down to how good Odell Beckham Jr. is.
Yeah, look, this is the most attractive on paper that we've seen Baltimore in a while, with Zay Flowers and Odell and Mark Andrews, Lamar healthy.
And Bateman missed most of last season, too. So we don't even really know what he is.
So it will be exciting to see how that AFC North can play out. Like, am I shocked if Baltimore wins 11 games against the division? No.
Well, they have the same easy schedule that the Steelers and the Bengals
puff.
and it's AFC South and NFC West.
I see Baltimore as a playoff team, absolutely. Like, AFC Championship game, probably not.
Okay. But just to go back for a second, I do think that if you get a healthy, pretty like number 1 receiver, Odell Beckham Jr., that's the first time that Lamar Jackson's really
That's
had
number
someone at that level.
Yeah.
I know Mark Andrews is great, and he plays. He's effectively been their number one guy, but he's never really had a true alpha dog at receiver. Marquise Brown was good. We like Hollywood Brown, but he's never had a stud. And I think that if Odell can come in, and he probably won't, because at this point with the injuries and everything, he's getting older. But if Odell's able to flip back the clock for just one season, I think it can be really exciting, because Lamar, he's a great passer. He's a better passer than people give him credit for.
I mean, I think if Zay Flowers can hit his ceiling and what Baltimore expects him to be, you can argue that he would be better than most number ones they've had in recent years too.
All of them. Sorry, Zig, you looked like you wanted to say something.
This can wait to the end.
Bait
It's just like, look, like the pressure's really on for this Baltimore team, right? I worry about how they're going to respond to that, because if you look at the decision makers, right, they sign Lamar to a huge deal. They finally bring in help. But if you're like John Harbaugh, I think you've got to be sweating this out a little bit, right? If things don't go well for them this year, he's getting fired. If you're the GM, I think you've got to be sweating this out. You just made a huge commitment to Lamar. You're overpaying Odell to line him up. Yeah, absolutely. I think if this team doesn't go on a playoff run, if they don't at least win a playoff game this year, things are going to have to change.
You would fire John Harbaugh if they lost in the wild card round?
When you have a player like Lamar Jackson, right, a guy who can be a unanimous MVP, in 6 seasons, you have to win more than one playoff game. You just have to. You probably have to win more than 2 playoff games. And all the excuses are gone.
Should.
I think the AFC is so good, though. Like, if Baltimore gets the AFC North and hosts a playoff game and loses, that's different where if you get the 5 or the 6 seed and go on the road and lose. Like, if you win the AFC North and you're the 3 or the 4 seed and you host, I don't know, a team like the Chargers or the Dolphins in a wild card round and you lose at home again, it's different than if you're the 6th seed and go on the road to Cincinnati or Buffalo and lose there.
Yeah, I mean, well, they've lost 2 home.
But it's a results-based league.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, if you lose at home again.
Yeah, and then that 2019 team, that was the one where I'm the best team in football for most of the season, and then they just come out and get destroyed by Tennessee.
Yeah, they were fantastic.
That was a weird loss, but yeah, a sense of urgency definitely needs to be there this season. And Ziggy, were you perhaps going to talk about the Mark Andrews quote that we saw?
Go ahead, Paul.
So we saw Mark Andrews was talking about Lamar in practice. We were cracking up about this in the group chat.
I'm not sure I want to say it, so I'm going to let Paul say it.
I'll say it. Yeah, I mean, he was talking about practice. So they were asking him how Lamar's looked this offseason, and Lamar's happy. He has a new contract, and Andrews' exact quote was, "His balls are incredible. He's putting the balls on the money."
Yeah, I saw you sent that in our chat. And I'm like, oh, like that's funny, like fake tweet. I'm like, wait a minute, that's
like a ball sack sports tweet.
Yeah, I'm like, but then I saw you actually said it. I'm like, what?
I mean, I'm sure in proper context, it was just like, yeah, he's throwing it really strong right now. His ball's been incredible. It's putting it on the money.
Yeah,
it's like
it just sounds
maybe not. Look, if team building is what you need, right? If Lamar's balls are what's going to make this team come together and finally win a couple playoff games, I see you did there. You do what it takes.
Special connection between those two. You've always been able to see it. It's just some chemistry.
If Lamar's balls make this team come together.
Well, all right, so there you go, and we'll wrap the Ravens discussion with this. A quick prediction. We haven't done a deep dive into their schedule or anything, but right now, Baltimore. You had to put a prediction. Where do they end this season? What would you guys say? You like wild card loss?
Well, so I'm gonna biasly say this. We're gonna finish ahead of them. So I'd say 9-8, first team out of the playoffs.
Oh, first. Okay, so you don't even have them in. Okay, Ziggy.
I think 11-6, lose the division on a tiebreaker, and win 1 or 2 games. They at least make the divisional round.
Okay, I think a wild card loss. I'm putting Cincinnati still as the division champion, so that would put. I think Baltimore will probably end up with the 5 seed, highest wild card
on the road.
They'd be the 4, and then that would put them against Jacksonville probably in my mind.
That's a winnable playoff game.
Man, actually, you know what? I'll have them in the divisional. I think they beat Jacksonville.
Go to Kansas City.
Go to Kansas City and then have a game there.
Well, this is what I mean. If you can't get that done, right, as good as the AFC is, they should be a good enough seed that they won't have to go to Buffalo or Kansas City. You have to win a playoff game this year. There's just no excuse for it. Or else, what are we doing? Lamar's cap hits are going to go up.
They should expect to win the division. There's not. Everyone loves the Bengals, but there's not that big a gap between Baltimore and Cincinnati, or Cincinnati and Baltimore for that matter, where you should be just thinking of a wild card.
I don't think that you can sit here and hand the Bengals the AFC North.
Oh, no, you can't. You can't. I do think it's probably correct to predict the Bengals to win, but it's not like when you look at the AFC West right now, even though the Chargers are good,
right, you
have to give it to the Chiefs. You have to say the Chiefs. If you told me, I'm picking Cleveland, I'd be like, probably not, but like that could happen.
You can't hand it to Cincinnati.
It's not picking the Raiders.
Yes, it's not picking the Raiders. That's a great point. So there you go.
Baltimore, this team could, and I hate to say it, could absolutely finish 11-6 and make the play.
It wouldn't shock anyone if they were 12-5.
Not at all.
Yeah,
not at all.
Very talented team. Just they got to have it come together. A little quicker discussion here on another team that should have a sense of urgency heading into this season, and that's the Buffalo Bills. They made a big move today. They add Leonard Floyd from the Rams. Leonard Floyd, 30 years old now, 9 sacks last year in LA. That looks like it's going to be a 1-year deal, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe $7 million is the base, up to $9 million in incentives, so that they can bring him in. Von Miller's talking about coming back week 1. That would be great news to have him against the Jets, but it's still up in the air. And we know the pass rush last year. Once Von Miller came out, the Buffalo defense really started to crumble. And there's a lot of things that went wrong in Buffalo last year. On top of Von Miller getting hurt, Micah Hyde was hurt. The whole DeMar Hamlin situation. You have to say that impacted the team in many ways. They moved the game, I think, to Detroit at one point because of a blizzard. It was just there was a lot of chaos around Buffalo. And that team, I remember we were sitting here at the start of the season. Buffalo was expected to win the AFC last year.
They were my Super Bowl champions.
There were a lot of people Super Bowl representative out of the AFC. And now this year, I'm kind of looking around the landscape of the league, and more people are, obviously you have to be high on Kansas City, but people are high on Jacksonville. People are really high on the Bengals because Burrow's been to back-to-back AFC championship games. It's kind of been a little quieter in terms of expectations. They're still there for sure for Buffalo, but I do think that right now, what a nice little benefit for them is that weight really isn't on their shoulders as much, and especially Aaron Rodgers too joins the division. So
are they favored to win the AFC East now?
They're still favored, but you don't have as much pressure as last year. But you still have to keep in the back of your mind that who knows how long this window is open with Allen. As great as he is right now, this team as a whole, it's getting a little bit older. So you do need to make a move. And I think urgency is one of those things that's super important in sports. When you develop that sense of urgency, you kind of kick it into another gear. So I do think that this could be a year where we see Buffalo go on that deep run to an AFC championship game.
You can never have too many guys up front to come after the quarterback. Especially what we saw last year. You watched that playoff game. Joe Burrow had years and years and years to throw the ball.
Oh yeah,
they couldn't touch him. It's very valuable, a very valuable position to play up front like that, and to have somebody who can hit a quarterback.
Look at Philadelphia.
Yeah, exactly. And to your point, Paul, I've been going back and forth on how I feel in terms of Buffalo. Is the pressure kind of still on them? Like, is this our final year, or are they going to do better now with it off?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a puzzle for me.
Yeah, there is nothing more important in the AFC if you want to win it than being able to pressure a quarterback with only 4 guys.
Mm-hmm.
Because Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes will tear you apart if you try and blitz them. You have to be able to get it done with only 4 guys. And we know the Von Miller-Leonard Floyd partnership can work, right? Even though Floyd's coming off a pretty bad season, there's a reason the Rams, who aren't very good, let him go. We know these 2 guys work well together and can generate a lot of pressure on quarterbacks. But I think even though the external pressure is going down, I know we keep saying this, but I think the internal pressure is higher than ever.
Yeah.
They've got to be disappointed with how things have turned out, right? Josh Allen and the Bills, they're not that different than Lamar and the Ravens.
No,
if you talk about what they've actually done in the postseason. Yeah. Like, I get it. They've had some heartbreaks, right? That, 13 seconds with Kansas City?
Yeah.
Like that, it's miserable, right? But then you lose to the Bengals again. Like, this team has just not been able to get it done. And, Stephon Diggs is getting older. He's getting unhappy. Von Miller, who's maybe the most important player on their defense, he's 34. He's not getting any younger.
Yeah.
Like, this team really needs to get something done now. I think this move sort of rules them out of DeAndre Hopkins, I think. This shows they're not really going for him. They're building things up on the defense and hoping that guys like Gabe Davis can step up on offense. But yeah, I think this shows where Buffalo sees their team is. And they think if they can improve the defense, this might be their year.
Well, you guys both brought up, and I'll touch on each of these, two really good points. Jack, you mentioned Burrow last year. Just felt like he had forever. And I know you had
I had the Bills in that
I know
game.
you had the Bills in that
Yeah,
game. So
like,
Jack has this ability when he bets on a game, he remembers it extremely vividly.
Yeah.
So
that is ridiculous.
In the past 3 playoff losses for Buffalo, against Mahomes twice and Joe Burrow once now, they've pressured him. They pressured those quarterbacks 4 times and 122 total dropbacks in those 3 games. That's a crazy stat. They're just not all day to throw. There's no pressure at all there.
And the quarterbacks you're playing against, you have absolutely zero chance.
And those 2 guys are the 2 best in the league, or 2 of the 3 best. Then when Ziggy, like you said, kind of similar to the Ravens, really good in the regular season. The past 4 years now for the Bills, the games they've lost in the playoffs, 32.25 points per game allowed, 440.75 yards allowed. So their losses, they really just completely fall apart on defense. They gave up a lead in 3 of those 4 games. It's just been really disappointing playoff performances for a team that dominates the regular season. Remember the first 7 weeks of last year? It didn't look like that team was beatable.
No.
They're winning 40-0 the first 2 weeks.
They're beating Aaron Rodgers by 20 points on national TV.
People were legitimately talking about that team going undefeated for the entire year, like 21-0. People were saying that might happen.
No, it was that level of high play for them in the beginning of the year, and then they just, again, we said there were a lot of things that went wrong, but in the playoffs, especially at home, I know it's Joe Burrow, I know it's the Bengals, they've done before, but that's a game that with where Buffalo is at the moment, they need to win that game. They need to win the home game and get the chance to play Kansas City.
Absolutely.
So we'll see what happens. I'm very excited for this season. I think they're going to be good.
I think that with people now talking about Aaron Rodgers and now the Jags and Kansas City, of course, and the Bengals, everyone's favorite team, and Baltimore now with a healthy Lamar and their additions, they're under the radar. I think it'll be a good thing for them. So I'm going to say Buffalo wins the AFC, sends a good year.
Yeah. When I say good, it's like, okay, of course they're probably gonna have a good year. I mean, I think they have a really good year.
Yeah,
I think they get to the AFC Championship game.
Me too.
So
Yeah, okay.
yeah, someone's gonna come look at our video in July or August when I do season predictions. They're gonna be like, wait, you had the Bengals and Chiefs. You said Buffalo back in June.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But
Buffalo
I
starts
like
1-4. And
yeah. I'm high on the Bills this year. So I did see one article that said, why is it easy for a girl from Buffalo to get a boyfriend? They're not expecting a ring.
That's fine.
Hey, look, all I'm saying is if anybody wants to take clips of us saying stuff and post it online, even if it makes us look bad, go right ahead. Just tag the show on Twitter, tag us on Instagram, put it on TikTok.
Whatever you want.
We will accept any ratio.
Idiots. So yeah, please in the comment section if you have any predictions for the Ravens or the Bills or whatever team, if you want to hear us talk about a team, I know we had someone comment that they want to hear more about the Lions. We'll definitely sprinkle in some Detroit conversations throughout the offseason. But please let us know who you want to hear us talk about.
Should we shout out Bill Withers?
Oh, we shout out Bill a lot. But
Yeah.
I mean, Bill's great. He's a great commenter.
Yeah. Bill.
Bill, my letter to Goodell's almost done.
Oh yes,
we should have that ready.
Ziggy wrote a letter to Roger
did.
Goodell, so we'll see.
Awesome.
We'll see if the high hit rate.
We appreciate it, Bill.
We have a very high response rate on this show when writing to celebrities or famous folks.
We also need Murph back.
Zach,
I don't know
what's
what
the
Jake-
Pirate score?
Well, Mike just laughed at the Pirates.
I know. I
so,
saw that.
boy.
So can you check? Is it like 7-0?
I don't know. What was it?
As we said, Jack is a heavy gambler.
Degenerate.
The
Oh,
Broncos.
excuse me.
I'm also a big Pirates fan.
We have these last 2 segments here. The Broncos' new motto, and then we'll get to the sports movie draft. So last year, everyone knows the Let's Ride. It became basically a meme. It was a meme throughout the entire season. It was Russell Wilson saying, Broncos country, let's ride. The Broncos show that I did, just know we ended every single episode with that. I actually liked it myself. I thought it was pretty
I
fun.
thought it was far and away the worst motto in the NFL, and you couldn't do any worse than it.
Oh, I actually liked Let's Ride. I thought Let's Ride was funny. Oh, you good?
Yeah, it's just my glasses.
I thought Let's Ride was funny, personally.
It was funny for the wrong reasons, though, right?
It
Like
was. It
Broncos
was
country, let's ride. You think maybe you thought it was a little cringy, and then they started losing, and Russell Wilson kept saying Broncos country, let's ride.
Let's ride.
As though when they were like 4-8, that was going to turn the
That
season
became
around.
the biggest meme ever. I used to see that all over my Instagram page. Other teams would reenact it too. Like people would reenact it.
I do have to say though, if they went like 12-8, people would be all over the Let's Ride, like hyping it up and all that.
I would all over it anyway. Either bad or great.
So what we
But they
decided
did
to do-
objectively worse.
Yeah, this
somehow.
year's motto, Ben Powers, their offensive lineman, was wearing a shirt, and this is how it became known. He was wearing a shirt at a press conference, and across the front it just said uncommon.
Yo, what does that mean?
And someone asked him, they asked him, and he said it means winning football in the NFL is uncommon. It's hard to do. It's why there's not a lot of winners. There's only one Super Bowl champ. And
That's not even true.
I thought the response from the Broncos writer who was writing about this, he's called it the lamest motto ever. He said, winning isn't uncommon. He said, in every game, you play 17 times a year. Someone wins, someone loses. It's like it might be uncommon for the Broncos.
Yeah, I mean, you got a 50% chance,
So
really.
it's kind of funny that their motto is, winning is, you could say winning is earned, something like that.
I mean,
if you want to have it
look,
be.
if you're like the freaking Tom Brady Patriots or like most good teams, like winning is not uncommon.
No,
like winning is what you're supposed to do.
I get that they're going for like the Super Bowl, like Super Bowl trophies are uncommon, but it's like, I don't know. We used to say at Notre Dame television, winning is hard. And that winning is hard.
Yeah, winning
it
is
takes
hard
a
in
lot.
the NFL. Yeah,
but shouldn't be uncommon. So
You could at least say be uncommon,
No.
right? Like we're going to be uncommon and overcome the odds. But no,
Sure.
it's just uncommon with a period.
sure.
I mean, if you're
As if
saying
uncommon's a sentence.
if winning is uncommon, you're pretty much saying that you suck. Because like good
You're saying
teams,
you
like
suck.
good teams, like winning is you win.
Yeah. So the
fine.
reasoning, I mean, we get what they're going for, but it is kind of funny to see it after the atrocity of last season. So what we decided to do was to come up with our own slogan. What's better than uncommon? And I'm not sure if we're going to take a serious route or joking around route on this one. So Jack, I know you have one off the top of your head. If you were in charge of the 2023 Denver Broncos slogan, what would it be?
I'd be like, you know what? Enough horsing around. You got a Super Bowl quarterback in Russell Wilson. You got good talent around him. Your defense is great. You got a great head coach now. Enough of this stupid nonsense uncommon. What does that even mean? Enough horsing around, Denver. Go in the AFC West.
You know what I like? Ziggy, do you have one, or else I can go?
Go ahead, Paul.
I think that it could be Denver Broncos. We don't give a buck. Because everyone's making fun of these guys this whole offseason. They're making fun of Russ. They're making fun of last year's Nathaniel Hackett. I think you could come in and say, we don't give a buck what anyone's saying about us. We're going to go in and we're going to come back and take over the AFC West for a year. Well, it probably won't happen. But you can have that
They're a
a
good
little
team.
bit of an
They're a
edge. I
talented team.
think this Broncos team needs an edge to it. Another one I liked was we're really bucking high.
It's not bad. I think I
Buck
like
Wild.
I like
Buck
the first
Wild.
one better.
Ziggy, you got something?
I was going to say Buck Wild because
Buck Wild.
whatever happens with this Broncos team this year, it is going to be a wild ride. Good or bad.
I kind of like Wild
Something
Ride.
crazy's going down.
I think
They might
Wild
go
Ride
to the
could be a
Super
good
Bowl.
one.
They might go to the Super Bowl this time.
You know, another one was if if they had Brock Osweiler on the team, it could be Brockback Mountain.
Oh yeah.
Denver Broncos, Brockback Mountain.
Zach, you got one?
Yeah, do you have anything, Zach?
Oh, mine's the greatest. Bronco up.
Oh.
Bro, Bronco up.
Bronco up.
That's absurd.
Broncos fans must be so miserable right now. Like, what's exciting about this team? You're just a laughing stock of the
You are
entire
praying
NFL.
that Sean Payton comes in and is just
Yeah,
a genius.
Now you have just more of a meme around, this uncommon thing. Like, what the hell does that even mean?
They are definitely the most entertaining in terms of meme potential.
Oh,
ever.
absolutely.
I mean, they are just an absolute.
you got the Russ, now you got this.
Yeah, no, they're a powerhouse in the meme generation. Okay, so there you go. I think out of all of them, I love enough horsing around. I think
Enough horsing around is
I think
great.
enough horsing
Enough
around
horsing
is
around.
amazing.
Go win some games.
Go
You got
win
a talented
something.
team.
How do
Come
you
on.
not like Bronco up?
I like Bronco up. I think that's really good.
What does Bronco up mean?
What's that mean?
It's like buckle up. Like
Is it
we're gonna have a
Bron-
great
I
city.
like
Except it's
saddle
Bronco
up.
up.
I like saddle up too.
Yeah.
Bronco up.
Bronco up.
Giddy up?
Can you imagine if it was like, all right, guys, you're Denver Broncos, and everyone just goes, Bronco up.
Bronco up. I can't see Sean Payton. All right, guys, enough horsing around. Go out there and get this done.
Enough horsing around sounds like they're like a middle school football team.
Oh, they played like it last
They
year.
played like
They
one.
it last year.
Oh man, I was trying to think of something fun with being high out there, but I couldn't come to anything.
Because they play in the Mile High.
Yeah, Mile High Stadium.
Oh yeah.
They're like
Maybe because they're actually high. That's why they couldn't win a
high
game.
expectations.
Oh, how about this, guys? No negative altitudes.
No negative altitude.
Uncommon is better than that.
Positive altitudes only.
Positive altitude.
I'm not forcing around. Bronco up. Bronco's on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Positive altitudes. I kind of like that. Oh, I actually really like a Oh my gosh.
Positive altitudes.
I actually might take that and use that. I might do the Bronco show again. Maybe we'll have some merch come out with some positive altitudes.
Tag me.
Oh yeah, I'm actually
Residuals.
Tag me.
Positive
Well,
altitudes.
we have to make it so real and then tag the Broncos and maybe they'll make one of
Maybe
those.
they'll count like the Titans. You know what's funny?
Hey, we got the Titans.
The Titans motto is tighten up.
I actually think that we have some real potential here with enough horsing around and positive altitudes.
Yeah, that's why we got to tag them on our next.
I also kind of
TikTok
like
for
we
this.
don't give a buck. I think a fan would wear that shirt.
Yeah.
I like these. What did you say, Ziggy? I liked yours. What was it? Buck Wild? Wild Ride.
Ready for this one?
Yeah.
Sean Payton's like, they'll be like 1 and 2 or 1 and 3. He'll be like, all right, guys, things may be rocky, but we got to keep a positive altitude. Enough horsing around. Bronco up.
Yeah, that's it right there.
That's it, right?
I mean,
That's it.
I think after that, you probably
Coach of the year material right there.
That's Sean Payton's speech.
I think Javonte Williams runs through a wall and
Oh,
then
yeah.
tears his ACL. After that, you probably take out Jerry Jeudy in the process.
things may be rocky, but have a positive altitude. Enough horsing around. Bronco
Let's
up.
go watch Brockback Mountain.
Let's get.
Is there a mount? What mount? Is there a mountain in Denver that's like really popular?
the
There's
Rocky Mountain.
Yeah,
That was
okay,
the
okay,
first part.
Yeah, all right. I was just making.
All right, so there we go. Let's get into this sports movie draft because as we know, Ziggy has a tight schedule, so we're already running over.
I
But
gotta watch into the Pirates game too. We took the lead.
here we go. Sports movies draft. Right beforehand, we had Zach determine randomly the order. So Jack, you will. I feel like you go first in all these drafts.
Yes, this is a big. I have a 1-1.
There are so many sports movies.
So many.
And please, again, in the comment section, let us know your favorite or your favorites, perhaps, something that we miss.
One of us is going to blunder. We don't know who yet, but one of us is going to.
No, you know what's gonna win Zach's draft? Like Thunderstruck. That'll win Zach's.
Oh yeah,
draft.
yeah. He'll like
I've never seen
Thunderstruck. I mean, that's okay. It's okay. It's I actually really do like that movie.
I actually do like the movie.
That was
too.
fun. But no, he'll have like Luck of the Irish. He'd be like,
Yeah.
like, oh man,
that's a good movie.
I love that
That's a
Disney
good
Channel
movie.
original.
That's my number 1 pick.
No, he'll have like Surf's Up or something like that. It's his number one. That is much more up
What
to
was
Zach.
what was the Disney one with the twin sisters that played basketball? Do you remember that one?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Well, there
it
was
right
this
now.
show called Liv and Maddie.
No,
that wasn't a movie.
Well, no,
There was a Disney show.
There was a Disney.
Oh, he totally
Disney
loves
movie.
like Surf's Up.
What about Soul
the
Surfer?
Penguin movie.
Yeah.
Is Soul Surfer a sports movie?
I think a
Sure.
surfing movie is The Endless Summer is a surfing
All right.
movie. All right, so
Hey, look.
How about the kissing?
Jack, you got
booth?
the first
That's a
pick.
great movie.
The Kissing Booth as a
Yeah.
sports movie.
Is
Yeah.
kissing a sport?
No.
How
That's
is
too
that?
far.
How is that as a sports movie?
Bro, someone was blocking her, right?
I
from
think
getting
she's the Man is a sports movie.
Oh, yeah.
She's the Man's that could actually make my list. I know I'd lose any draft with that, but She's the Man's really good.
It's really good.
All right, so Jack, you got the first pick. In
Oh
the
my
sports
god, there
draft.
are so many. I
Yeah,
just had
so-
like a couple movies come to my head.
I can make a case for probably like 15 1-1s,
Mm-hmm.
but I will take an all-time great, a movie that everybody loves, and go with The Sandlot.
I literally just thought of that. No joke in my head.
Sandlot's awesome. I love when it's also funny because when you said there's so many movies to take, or you said a movie everyone loves, I was like running through. I'm looking at this little list of movies.
there's a
and
million.
there's a million
There's a
that you could
million.
have. The Sandlot. My siblings before this said the best baseball movie is Sandlot. There's a lot of great
it's
baseball
great.
movies too.
It's fantastic.
Okay, so you got Benny the Jet.
I love Benny the Jet.
It's a great movie. What was it?
Smalls. I have a You're Killing Me Small shirt. I should have worn it.
What was the? Oh, that would have been good. Wait, what was the? You hit. What's like the famous? One of the famous lines?
You play ball like a girl.
Yeah,
You play ball like a girl.
he hit. What is it? He hit the skin off the ball or something like that.
Yeah.
The Omen. All right, go ahead,
That's-
Ziggy.
that's
The
scene where-
second pick.
CPR.
Ba-da-da, ba-da-da, ba-da-da.
No!
Ba-da-da, ba-da, ba-da. Rocky. Give me Rocky all day.
I feel like you've been stealing all of my picks for the past.
I was hoping that would fall to the second round, but there's no.
There's no way that's
No, there's
falling
no
into.
way.
I mean, I think Rocky's defensible is 1-1 for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
Excellent sports.
Rocky
film.
would have been my 1-1.
How crazy it is. I've never seen a Rocky movie.
What? Oh my god.
Oh, I lost because he hasn't seen.
No, I know what
freaking
Rocky is.
Okay.
I know Rocky and all that stuff. I just haven't.
You don't know how good it is.
How is this
Okay,
guy judging?
Okay.
How is this guy
He's never
the
seen
judge?
Rocky.
Okay.
Best sports movies draft hasn't seen Rocky. Okay, Paul, what do you got?
Wow. There are.
There's a million.
Yeah, I am. All right. I'm gonna take my favorite football movie is Remember the Titans. So I'm gonna go with Remember the Titans at 3, and then jeez, man, there are a lot of really good ones here. I know what you're looking at coming back. I know, I know what you're going for.
Are you looking at that too?
Oh, see, this is the tough part because
I got a couple things in mind.
yeah, there's
And one of this Pirates score too.
yeah. All right, I'm gonna take Hoosiers.
That's a good one.
I'm gonna take Hoosiers.
Yeah,
it's not like the fun pick, like,
No, that's a really good movie.
but I think Hoosiers is just a phenomenal movie, and I love the end. Like,
yeah.
Wish I
I'll
could say
take
the
it, Coach.
same thing.
You haven't seen Hoosiers?
I haven't seen Hoosiers.
Hoosiers. So his pick is just moot.
No, but
Yeah, so I'm
everybody
just
knows
getting my
what
ass
Rocky.
whooped, yeah, all right.
Everybody knows what Rocky is. Like, I know the
You've
story.
seen Remember the Titans, right?
Yeah, I've seen
Okay,
Remember the
okay,
Titans.
all right. Okay, so Remember the Titans and Hoosiers for me. Ziggy, we're back to you.
There's only one baseball player who was named after a president and was played by a future president in a movie. Give me the winning team about Grover Alexander Cleveland.
Oh my god!
No, I'm kidding. Give me White Man Can't Jump all day.
Oh,
White Man Can't
That's a
Jump?
good one.
Okay,
Never seen it either.
Woody Harrelson. Yeah.
Zach.
Yeah, no, that's
Ziggy.
but that's a
classic.
classic.
Okay, all right. That brings us back to Jack now.
So I get both back to back.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with my favorite football movie and go with Rudy.
I mean, hey, no complaints over here.
Great
no
movie.
complaints here with Rudy.
And then I'm gonna take Caddyshack.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I almost took earlier. Oh, Caddyshack
Love
is so
Caddyshack.
good. Oh, okay. All right, Ziggy. That brings us back to you now with your last pick.
I'm not winning this draft anyway. I'm going to go for the film that's the best of any of these. Give me Raging Bull.
That's a good pick actually. In terms of like people love Raging
That is
Bull.
a truly excellent film. It focuses on sport and interesting.
I think my dad likes that
You
movie.
haven't seen it.
So you're heavy. You're heavy in boxing. You are heavy in boxing.
I mean,
now.
it's
It's
not
De
my
Niro.
fault. So many great
it's
sports
De
movies
Niro.
of boxing.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Yeah.
I think my dad likes that movie.
Wow, I am just looking at.
I mean, I got Sandlot, Rudy, and Caddyshack. I mean,
You have some great movies. All right,
Never seen Caddyshack.
I am going. This is tough because like Coach Carter, great movie.
Yeah,
love Coach
there's a
Carter.
gazillion.
I'm not gonna take Coach Carter.
Never seen that either.
The football movies here. I love Invincible. Since this is the last pick, so I'll just say a couple of like Invincible. I love. Jerry Maguire's good. Friday Night Lights, Blindside.
Friday
I'm
Night
gonna
Lights,
go.
Bad News Bears.
Bad News
Bad
Bears.
News
There's a lot of
Bears.
great movies. I'm gonna actually go with though. I love Miracle on the hockey movie,
Yeah.
but I have to take Jam. Come on now, Eric Jam.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh.
I have to go with Space Jam. That's
a
like
good
one of
one.
my childhood favorite.
The
sports
Michael Jordan
movies.
one, not the stupid LeBron.
Oh
one,
no,
right?
not Space Jam 2.
Yeah,
No.
Space
Yeah,
Jam
Space
1.
Yeah,
Michael Jordan, Bugs Bunny.
that was fantastic. Bill Murray.
That's childhood.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
That's
I think
like
you
most
just won.
kids' favorite.
Zach, you just won with Zach.
Oh, I know he's seen Space Jam.
you won,
Space Jam
yeah.
is just amazing.
I've seen Space Jam too.
It's Bugs Bunny. I mean, it's Bugs
Yeah.
Bunny. So
No,
okay.
no. We watch Lola Bunny. You don't watch.
Oh,
We do watch Lola Bunny.
Oh.
Zach, you watch Lola Bunny?
pretty bad in that movie. In the second one, they actually like made her figure less curvature because they said it was inappropriate in the first one.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
They did.
I mean, you've got these guys getting
Uh-oh.
getting a Johnson for a furry rabbit. Like, what's wrong with these people?
Johnson.
This is like people who were excited by the green M&M. Like, what's wrong with you?
All right, wait. Let me just.
Or
There
like
were a
Mrs.
couple.
Incredible.
There were a couple here. Field of Dreams and Moneyball, really
Yeah.
good movies. Jack's sister loves Moneyball.
She does.
I love Moneyball too.
Wrote Andrew's essay on it.
Dude, I think Miracle is so good. But Happy Gilmore, that was another one in consideration for me.
Friday Night Lights is up there.
I was surprised when I was doing research on this. You hear sports films, you think, okay, that's going to be pretty limited. There are so many good sports films out there.
We didn't even mention like
Cool Runnings, Breaking
Yeah.
Away.
Did you guys watch Safety?
I've not seen Safety.
No.
Oh wait,
Safety
is
was
Running Away the Kevin Costner one? What's the
What about Draft?
what's the Kevin Costner one with the cross country team? I heard that was
McFarland
really
McFarland USA.
McFarland USA. I heard that was
Oh,
really good.
yeah.
McFarland USA, my high school rival. They're a bunch of jerks, by the way.
Of course
Don't
they are.
buy any of that movie's propaganda.
McFarland was
Yeah, like one of my high school relics, we had like a box of things, And they somehow got a headband from like the McFarlane USA team that's portrayed in that film. But now, because of all the Disney residuals, they'd like roll up to cross country meets of air conditioned tents.
No.
Like they were so rich from the Disney deal.
Wow.
Don't believe any of that propaganda.
Dodgeball's great.
Oh,
Talladega Nights.
Yeah, there's so many.
That's a lot of great ones.
Semi-pro.
I love Miracle.
42.
Like
42,
Miracle's
yeah.
probably in my top. Man, I'm surprised that didn't get taken. Okay.
but
So, Zach, here are the teams. A reminder: The Sandlot, Rudy, and Caddyshack for Jack. That's strong.
that's a hilarious mix-up.
That's a great.
strong.
Yeah, that's like your top three.
Yeah,
arguably,
oh,
right?
definitely. Yeah. And then, Hoosiers is great. Rocky.
I mean, yeah. Ziggy now with Rocky, White Men Can't Jump, and Raging Bull. That just doesn't seem like a Zach draft to me.
No,
But it's a great
list.
like an unbelievable. Actually, he probably is you probably the most critically acclaimed list here
yeah,
outside of White Men Can't Jump. And Rocky and Raging Bull.
White Men Can't Jump, critically acclaimed.
Yeah, no, but I mean different from
that's a great movie. Man, can drop.
right. I feel
Yeah,
like
but that's
it's still
no, that's a
critically
brilliant film.
acclaimed.
It
Oh, yes,
comments
yes,
on
yes.
race relations in America.
Yes,
like,
but
excellent
different. Yeah. And then for me, Remember the Titans, Hoosiers, and Space
Yeah,
Jam.
that's a phenomenal list.
These are all great lists. And I actually have to confess, I haven't seen Raging Bull.
Neither have I. But
Which
I've heard
I
it's good.
need to watch that.
Y'all
Actually,
gotta watch that.
I put it on
That's
my list the other
It's
day.
a banger.
Okay, Zach, do you have a winner?
I do have a winner.
All right, the winner is
Paul. Did that go through the mic? Paul?
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, it like came through, and I just didn't hear I didn't hear my own
Was it
voice.
Space Jam? You said beforehand. You said there are two movies in mind for me.
Yeah.
that would
What was
be
I
what was
thinking?
that?
differentiating
Oh,
factors.
Moneyball. Moneyball was definitely
Moneyball's
good.
good.
One I just saw recently. I really liked
Oh,
it.
it's great.
I want to say it was either Blindside or Happy Gilmore. One of the two.
Okay. Happy Gilmore. Like that last pick for me was if one of you guys took. I thought Ziggy was going to take Space Jam, and then I probably would have taken Miracle or Happy Gilmore.
So many good movies.
There are a lot. I almost thought we should go an extra pick at the end of this, but
I thought I said we should go 6 rounds before.
yeah. All right, Ziggy says wrap it up. So let's get ready to get out of here.
Wait, Ziggy doesn't own this show.
I mean,
guys,
well,
wrap it up.
Oh, okay, Zach. Yeah. Sorry, Ziggy, we forgot Zach.
Yeah.
The bell doesn't dismiss you. Zach dismisses you.
Yeah. Thanks again for listening. Again, please like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you want to hear us talk about. We'll be back on Thursday with an episode. Andrew should be here for that. The money's come in. It's minus one. No, probably plus 110 plus. I don't know. What do you think? Put a line on it.
That Andrew shows up.
Yeah.
I'd say showing up is minus 120.
Minus
Not
110.
plus 102.
Yeah,
something like that.
I had it minus 110 plus 110. That's
We were both
reasonable.
minus 110.
Yeah, minus one. Yeah, okay, that's fair. So there we go. We'll see you on Thursday. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.